I believe in miracles. Thorns. Taking in the sights and sounds of birds, trees, grass, leaves, wind.
This little bird just flew over my head and then flew away, and now it's peeping at me.
What I do for fashion. Hi guys, welcome back. This is the LYDIA NAOMI channel, and I'm going to show you today how to make this dress. Let me tell you, I made 2 in one day, okay? So you guys can all do this. And all you need is a t-shirt, sewing machine, and some jersey fabric, about 1.5 yards. Steve! I would love to see if some of you guys try it in a woven fabric, because I think that would work and would be cool too. But you probably have to add darts here and like, I don't know, you know? So enjoy! So all you need for this dress is a t-shirt that fits you a bit loose. If you don't have a t-shirt like this, you just need to make sure that when copying it, you make the side seam wide enough to accommodate your hips. And here's a picture of my first prototype. You'll see that I made the cropped area a little too far down, so it really pulled the dress down. The elastic is also gaping, and the cropped area of the back is just a little too billowy. So I adjusted this, and you're seeing all of these adjustments in this tutorial. So you want to fold your t-shirt with the front facing out and place on the fold of your fabric. Then mark the width of your dress all the way down and measure the length. Then you want to trace out the front armhole, shoulder, and neckline. Now the back is 2 pieces with added seam allowance, so you are going to copy from the front piece on an angle to reduce the back drape bulk. I reduced it by 1.5 inches on fold, or 3 inches altogether. Fold up the front piece to where you want it cropped and mark that with a shallow snip on the front piece. I recommend making this measurement about 1 inch higher, since the weight of the elasticated skirt will pull it down a bit. Then you want to trace this out with a hem allowance of about 3/4 inches. Make the back armhole a bit wider and the back neckline a bit higher. The back bottom is just a large rectangle, but we want it to match the front at the right length. So we are going to mark a 2-inch guideline for the elastic casing, then line up the bottom of the skirt where we marked it and put it just under the 2-inch guideline, then cut it out. For the sleeve, double the fabric right sides together and draw a line down the center. Fold the t-shirt at the shoulder seam and line up the fold of the sleeve with the line, and trace, adding a 3/4 seam allowance for the hem. I started with the front side, then flipped it over to trace the back side. Make sure you mark the front or back of the sleeve and notch the center where it will line up with the shoulder seam. So these are all your pieces. I also had to cut the neckband. You want to make it 2 inches wide and at least as long as your neck circumference. We will adjust this length later. The first steps in construction are to hem the back top and create the casing for the elastic with a double stitch line. You can use a 2-inch elastic, but the combined weight of the elastic and my fabric really pulled it down, so I opted for 2 rows of 3/8 elastic. I made my elastic as wide as I wanted the gathered area and cut the top elastic 1 inch shorter to stop it from gaping. Take a safety pin and feed the short one through the top and the longer one through the bottom.
Next, with right sides together, sew the shoulder seams. Because this fabric is quite heavy, I'm adding twill tape in these seams to keep the shoulder from stretching out over time. Alternatively, clear elastic can be used, but I wanted something a little more sturdy for this design. You can also cut the selvage off a bolt of woven fabric and use that if you don't have either of those supplies at home. Next, you want to apply the sleeves, being sure to attach the front to the front and the back to the back. After the sleeves are complete, you want to sew the side seams. Line up the top back with the notches on the front body piece. You want this piece under the back gathered skirt so that when it's turned out, it will be on the top, which is what we want. I then added a piece of twill tape from the sleeve to the bottom of the elasticated waist. This will add the support in holding up the weight, as I mentioned before. Part of the weight is because I used a terry-backed jersey, which is a little heavier than just a plain jersey, which is what I would recommend. It's also better for summer if it's just a plain jersey. Then you want to sew up the side seams, making sure that you attach all layers of thickness in the seam. You'll see that even with the twill tape, the side seam pulls down, so you can see how crucial that little piece of twill tape is. Next, take your neckband, fold and iron it. Walk it around 1/2 of the front neck, stretching as you go so that it lays flat when you sew it. Then copy this length and create a notch. From that notch, walk the back half of the neck and copy the length, adding a 1/4 inch seam allowance at the end. Then sew these ends together. Match the notches and seam to your neckline and sew. Iron the seam, and then you can decide if you want to top stitch this or not. I did a contrasting white thread, so I thought it would just tie it all together. Next, iron the sleeve hem up and sew. Also iron the hem and sew. And a little tip for bulky seam allowance, snip the seam allowance at the fold and fold the seam allowance opposite ways so that when you create your hem, they don't overlap. To finish, I like to iron all the seams. It just creates a more professional look. And that's the dress.
thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, give me a like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell notification button. And I would love to see if you guys made this, so hashtag Lydia Naomi on Instagram or tag me at Lydia Naomi Soul. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!